The power of friendship in anime is described as the feeling of not wanting to let that friend down, specifically when fighting a villain. And what anime is said to do this a lot? Fairy Tail. This, of course, is not a bad thing, but this CBR article about Fairy Tail is rough. So let's discuss why I think most of these moments, in my opinion, with context, are not the power of friendship, but just really good anime moments. It truly is that time for the video here today. Hello, is your boy Toon Taylour. And we are going to be going over the CBR article, top 10 times power of friendship came clutch in Fairy Tail. Whew. Now, with this is their opinion, and I'm just going to be giving my opinion on why I don't think some of these moments, they had a lot of moments that I agreed with, but some of these moments I don't agree with, and I wanted to take the time to say that because I think Fairy Tail gets a lot of hate, especially with the fact that it's the power of friendship, but I think some moments that they give just don't absolutely represent that, so I wanted to talk about that. So yeah, let's jump on into it. Number 10, Lucy's friendship with celestial spirits allow her to defeat Sorano/Angel. While I don't think this is a bad example of the power of friendship, it's the description. Lucy battles against a fellow celestial mage, Angel, but holds back because she wants Angel to surrender her control over the celestial spirits Ares so she can be with her friend Loki. Lucy never holds back against Angel. Angel outwits her. Angel matches every single of Lucy's gold keys with a perfect counter. Aquarius with Scorpio, Leo with Aries, Taurus with Gemini. The only thing Lucy did was ask that friends do not fight when Loki and Ares agreed under new contracts that they must follow their celestial wizard's orders. But what really set Lucy off was how Angel used her celestial spirits as pawns. After Lucy runs out of magic, the Gemini twins start going to town on her. This is when Lucy begs that Angel release Ares to be with Loki, and where the Gemini twins hear and feel the love that Lucy has for her spirits in her heart. However, Sorano recalls Gemini and still has more spirits and more power. What really caught her off guard was Hibiki going to strangle Lucy due to Nirvana feeding off of people's rage. Instead, he uses his archive magic to unlock Lucy's Uranometria, and she beats Angel. Now, I could say this goes either way. It could be considered a real battle of strengths and wits with slight power of friendship, or it can just be called a power of friendship fight. But they also had another sentence that I didn't like. The Ration 6 arc is when Fairy Tail kicks into full gear as an anime. It's when the series gets past some of its comedical villains to provide some threats not just to the Fairy Tail Guild, but to the magic world as a whole. Did the Jalal arc never happen? Was Phantom Lord not trying to blow up Magnolia? Did Loxus not try to blow up Magnolia? Come on now. Number 9, Juvia and Gray use their Unison Raid ability to stop Daphne's army. We're going with the anime only route, I see. Also, this description is lazy. Daphne was an excellent scientist obsessed with the creation of dragons. After meeting one as a child, she couldn't give up the idea of seeing one again. So her various experiments in her arc are all about creating one herself. After successfully creating a dragon, it attacks Magnolia Town, forcing Fairy Tail to protect the city from the dragon and Daphne's lizard army. Fortunately, Juvia and Gray are able to work together to create a Unison Raid spell that freezes the army, clearing the way for them to deal with the dragon as well. Now, we all know Gray and Juvia are one of the most well-worked teams in Fairy Tail. I mean, they're water and ice, the best combination. But this is like saying, oh, Goku and Vegeta only fused against Majin Buu because they're best friends. Not the fact that they are the only two full Saiyans left, or the fact that they are the strongest two who could stop Majin Buu. It's just lazy. I don't consider this a power of friendship moment. I consider this more so a team up moment. There's a difference between power of friendship and friends working together. Number 8. The bond of friendship compelled Simon to sacrifice himself for Urza. It's no doubt that Urza and Simon had a strong bond, but this feels more like a love sacrifice than a friend trying to save a friend. Also, before we move on to that fact, Simon from the beginning didn't believe Jalal and put his faith in Urza more. Jalal's powers involve him wielding celestial bodies, and at that moment he chucked a miniature black hole at Natsu and Urza. Fortunately, Urza's friend Simon takes the blow for them, allowing Natsu the opportunity to mount a comeback through the help of the Tower of Heaven's own building blocks. I think that means the Ether Nano, but I'm not going to talk about it. Simon had the same motives when it came to Urza that Urza had for Jalal, which was love. Simon was in love with Urza, but knew she was in love with Jalal and wouldn't try in her. This one's up in the air for me because this could be seen as a power friendship moment. He saves himself, he sacrificed himself, Natsu goes on a rampage, and all else is done. But again, this just seems, I don't know if I would consider a sacrifice as a power friendship moment. Like, this was a moment that he didn't want Urza to die for him. I guess because, like, similar situation, Ace and Luffy. Ace didn't want Luffy to die, so he sacrificed himself. Yes, that's brotherly love, and that can be seen as the power of friendship, but that was just, those were two people who were already weakened enough and couldn't continue fighting, being saved by somebody who meant more to them. Number 7. Lucy and Julia's friendship formed a unison raid that helped them defeat Gladys. This is the only one so far that I can completely agree that this was a power of friendship moment that helped them win a fight. Especially with the start of Lucy and Juvia's relationship being more disrespectful, but then turned into Juvia respecting Lucy and them being called friends. Also, they got another line in here that's just disrespectful. Juvia and Lucy both often relied on the power of friendship to get them through battles. Stop it. Lucy and Juvia, by far, two of the strongest members in Fairy Tail. I understand the whole, I want to know what their understanding of the power of friendship is, but this just comes off as disrespectful, that Lucy and Juvia need other people around them in order to win fights, and I completely disagree with it, especially on Juvia's case, as she was one of the strongest to come out in the show, whereas Lucy was younger and less experienced, but as time came on, she grew into one of the strongest wizards in Fairy Tail. Number 6. Lucy and Wendy used their powers to help Natsu attack Hades, the leader of Grimoire Heart.
What?
They really must have gave up, because I don't understand how two people helping a third person fight an opponent is the same as the power of friendship. We're talking about Hades, who is currently the leader of the strongest guild we've seen in the series. In that portion of the show, who has come out and defeated multiple members of Fairy Tail, including Master Makarov. But Lucy and Wendy using a unison raid to help Natsu is the power of friendship? Like, come on now, this doesn't make sense. And I've read the rest of the list, so they concluded this was the power of friendship, but Natsu, Gajot, and Wendy back in Edelus fighting a dragon is considered a team up, they didn't even consider it for a power friendship moment. So I just, inconsistencies. That's what I don't like. Number 5, Lucy's friendship with the celestial spirits allow her to summon the celestial king to fight Mardgeir. No. I quit. Trapped in a situation with no other choice, Lucy's close relationship with her celestial spirits allow her to summon the celestial king himself, who does battle with Mardgeir and briefly defeats him, turning the villain to stone. This is one of Lucy's best and biggest fights, and I refuse to let this fight be seen as she was saved by the power of friendship and the love of her spirits. First of all, Lucy was fighting off 3 demons by herself while everybody else was covered in this goo shit. She had the power to not summon 1 celestial spirit, but 3 at the same time. And seeing as this fight was becoming utter pointless, Aquarius suggested summoning the celestial king. And I've looked it up, by the way. I've done my research. Not once, anywhere does it say that a wizard needs to be close friends with a celestial spirit to summon the wizard king. The little description I've gotten was that you need to have as much power as possible to open 3 keys, and you must break a golden key. Like this was Lucy's greatest fight. A better example I think they could have chosen was when the celestial king showed up, completely in fury because Lucy is shedding pure tears. That would have been a better reason than Lucy's friendship with the celestial spirits allowed her to open the king. At any given moment, the keys would have given themselves up to allow Lucy to summon the king. And I think the king could have came himself, to be honest. I don't think they needed to summon. They need to summon him. That also, I think, with how Lucy's love for Loki was what made the celestial king show up the first time, I think he could have showed up without having to damage a key. But of course, we had to have something happen. Number 4, Juvia and Gray team up for a unison raid to attack Leon and Sharia. I don't know what it is with this article and honing in on Juvia and Gray that they just rely on the power of friendship for each other. Despite Leon and Sharia being powerful mages, Leon's crush on Juvia causes him to hold back from fighting his hardest. Bullshit. But Gray and Juvia worked together and cast a unison raid spell that blew both of their opponents away, helping Fairy Tail's team be placed in the tournament. First things first, this is during the final match of the Grand Magic Games. That is the combination of Team A and Team B to form the strongest Fairy Tail team. Urza, Gray, Natsu, Gajild, and Loxus, with Natsu going to help Lucy. Juvia was the next best replacement. And again, in terms of chemistry, Juvia and Gray and their powers work well together. So I don't understand how this is a power of friendship moment. Like, and to say Leon was holding back is BS, Doug. I understand that he has a crush on Juvia, but Leon fought Gray the entire fight. I just give up with this article, Doug. I give up so much. Number 3, Elfman's desire to protect his family and friends help him achieve his full power. I'm not going to put a quote up for this. They basically talk about how family is just as much power of friendship as friends are. But Elfman's entire motive to control his full beast takeover came from the fact that Mira was kidnapped and he wanted to save Mira. He may have had ulterior motives with trying to help Fairy Tail during this fight, but the sole reason he was going full strength was because Mira, and that's his blood. So I don't like this one either. Number 2, Makarov uses Fairy Law to defeat Josei. Do y'all hear yourselves? Did y'all really write this and said that? This is by far the worst, because they just explain how strong Fairy Law is and how to use it. But Makarov, the leader of Fairy Tail, the only known mage currently to use this move, is because of friendship? Not the fact that Josei and Phantom Lord declared war on Fairy Tail, and this was getting way too much. It turned into Josei attacking Makarov's children, so he stepped up and acted like a true guild master and blew them away. This is by far different, because if we were to say Makarov was being defeated, he was getting his butt whooped on, and then somebody gave the whole, hey Makarov, you got this, and then he did Fairy Law out of pure strength, I would have called it. I would have said, yo, you're right. But he showed up, said stop fucking up, and blasted Josei with the Fairy Law and ended this whole situation. I call BS. You have to separate pure strength from power of friendship, because that just they don't make sense. This is terrible. Number 1, Loxus was unable to hurt Fairy Tail because he didn't see any of them as enemies. The Battle of Fairy Tail kicks off after Loxus returns to the guild and finds himself frustrated at the weakness he sees there. He wants to kick all of the weak members out of the guild and leave only the strong. He wages war on the entire guild to do so, but when Loxus feels like he's about to lose, he starts to cast Fairy Law, the spell that discerns between friend and foe. Despite casting the powerful spell, Fairy Law does not hit anyone, not the guild members or the people in town. His love for Fairy Tail and the bond between them kept everyone in town from being destroyed. I would like to say this is true. What happened is true. Loxus tried to cast Fairy Law, he casted it perfectly, but nobody got injured. However, no matter what Loxus felt in his heart that day, he still had the Thunder Palace up. Like, if it wasn't for everybody in the guild combining together, the Thunder Palace was still gonna go off. He still, even after Fairy Law didn't work, still desperately tried to destroy Fairy Tail. And even if his heart didn't want him to destroy Fairy Tail, it's the fact that he even thought of using it that is like, can we forgive him like that? Like, come on now, think about it. He casted a perfect Fairy Law. The heart realizing that none of Fairy Tail is his enemies, yeah, that's power of friendship. But if it wasn't for that, that would have been terrible. I would say this is a power of friendship moment, but this is different from how they tried to explain what the hell Makarov did to defeat Josei, because these two are way different situations and uncomparable at all to how, and they're 1 and 2 on the list. That Fairy Law is, so in terms, Fairy Law is the definition of the power of friendship according to this article. Nah, dog, I don't agree. I hate this. All right, so we've discussed this whole entire article, and out of this entire thing, I'm going to be honest and say only 3, I would say 4 at best, are power of friendship The other ones are either team ups or they're just trying to take away somebody's big moment. Like, cause these are just terrible. And again, the power of friendship is not a bad thing, but when you put it in very negative lighting, it looks bad. Like Lucy's friendship with the Celestial Spirits allow her to summon the Celestial King to fight Maud Greer. That was Lucy's big moment. Sure, her closeness with them may have mattered, but this was one of Lucy's biggest moments as a Celestial Wizard, and to just take it away and count it as a power friendship moment, I disagree, because this is one of the times that Lucy fights on her own and stands her own ground, and I hate that. Or every time they brought up a unison raid to beat opponents, specifically between Juvia and Gray. Like, this was just, they just had it out for these specific characters. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be, but it was still pretty bad. It was very bad. Anyways, it has been your boy Toon Taylour with a different type of video for you guys. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you agree with my opinions or agree with the article's opinions, please comment down below. Please like, subscribe if you are new. Check out my social media, my Patreon in the description down below. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace.